Hey everyone, my name is Keith Leveson. I'm a realtor and I also run a local lifestyle brand here in Orlando called Migrate Orlando. If you've joined us before, welcome back. If this is your first time seeing one of our Facebook Live events, welcome. We do a lot of topics. Sometimes we talk about great restaurants in the Orlando area, events coming up, things to do. But we also discuss my expertise, my area, my speciality, which is real estate. And I give you some things that should hopefully help you when working with a realtor. Um, and today we're going to discuss one of those really important subjects. So, we did say today we're focusing on if you're selling your house. Uh, it's called Before You Try and Sell Your Home. Kind of what do you need to know? Just so you know, today's topic equally applies to buyers. So if you're going to buy a house, I do this with my buyers as well as with my sellers. So this is something that I do across the board, and it's going to help you across the board. So what is it? Well, it's BATNA. Now you're probably wondering what in the world is this crazy word BATNA. It's actually a abbreviated form of a your best alternative to a negotiated agreement. Now, a lot of realtors use BATNA or your best alternative to a negotiated agreement. And quite honestly, a lot of realtors don't know why they use it. And because of that, when they ask you a very common question, that question tends to come off as gimmicky, a scare tactic. It can come across as a sales tactic. And the reality is that question is going to give you your strongest negotiating power. The question that most realtors ask, and they don't realize why they ask it, is this: what are you going to do if you don't sell your house? And we can apply it equally to if you're buying a home. Uh, what are you going to do if you never find a house to buy? Now, why is that important? Well, BATNA, your best alternative to a negotiated agreement, will prevent you from rejecting offers that you should have accepted. And that happens all the time, where offers come in and the sellers should accept the offer. It's a good offer, but they reject it because of the grass is greener or because of position bargaining. So, position bargaining is basically we set a price and we are negotiating that price. That's not the strongest way to negotiate. That's not how you're going to get the best results. The best results are going to come from having an alternative to if you never sell your house. So let's talk about how that works. How do most people decide the price that their house should sell for? Now, they may talk to their realtor, and hopefully, if they have a good realtor, the realtor is going to do some market research and provide you with a suggested listing price. But a lot of people, the way it typically begins is they sit down as a family and they say, we're going to sell the house, okay? And one individual says, we should sell our house for $240,000. And the other family member says, $240,000? What are you thinking? That's a steal. I've seen houses in our area go for $280,000. We can get that easy. And then you have another family member who says, well, I agree, 240,000 is too low, and 280,000, it feels kind of high. So I think we should meet in the middle and do $260,000. And then they meet with a realtor, and the realtor gives them a market price, and they go, well, wait a second. I thought my house was worth 260,000, and here you want to list it for 239. Well, what happened? The family based the house price on on position bargaining. They set a price. And yes, you have to set a price to sell the house. That's true. But what happens when you set a price like that is, quite honestly, to a degree, our pride that we all have as human beings gets involved. And when somebody comes in and says, you want $260,000 for your house, but the reality is the market shows your house is only worth $239,000, we deny it because our egos hurt. And we can't wrap our head around how our house could be worth so little when we thought it was worth so much. And then we start trying to reason, well, my house has this, I did that, I put this into my house. And while all that's true, it doesn't change the fact that most houses that have sold for $280,000, $260,000, they had 4 bedrooms. Your house has 3. They had 2.5 bathrooms. Your house has 1. They had a 1/4 of an acre of property. Yours barely has any property. You don't even have really a backyard. So you set a price, but it didn't reflect market. And that's the first problem, okay? Is you set a price and now your ego is hurt, or you can't wrap your mind around how your home could be worth so little, and you're refusing to work within the market. And the reality is, the price of your home is not set by you. It is not set by the realtor. It is set by the market. So while your home may be great, if your home's right off I-4, guess what? I'm sorry. It may not sell as well as a house that's a little further away, because a house right off I-4 has all that noise, all that traffic. And you might find somebody who might be willing to pay a higher price in today's market, but the reality is it's going to be hard. So why is your best alternative to a negotiated agreement so important? Well, instead of setting a price in your mind for this house, what you're going to do is you're going to say, if I don't sell the house, what am I going to do? And the answer might be, I'll leave it on the market forever. I got plenty of money. I'll leave it there till eventually somebody pays. Okay. Or you might say, I'm going to donate it. I'll give it to a family member. A lot of people, depending on their situation, might say, I'll turn it into a rental property. So let's take that scenario. Let's take the scenario of you have this house, you're planning on selling it. Your best alternative to a negotiated agreement is you will take the property you currently own and you are going to turn it into a rental property. Now, why is that important? Because now every offer that comes in for your house, you are not weighing $240,000 against $260,000 that you thought your house was worth. You're weighing $240,000 against the alternative of you becoming a landlord. So that is going to help you accept offers that are in your best interest. And a great way that that kind of works, right, is let's say you get an offer for $240,000. And yes, while in your mind you thought your house was worth $260,000. You look at that offer of $240,000 and you weigh it against this alternative of I have to become a landlord. Now, how can we make this $240,000 seem more attractive, more appealing? Well, the reality is that by not limiting ourselves to our pride or to what we thought our house was worth, but by focusing on this alternative, we are now able to brainstorm and create some brilliant solutions. So now we have this offer of $240,000, but you have to be to your new job and where you're going to live, let's say Texas, in 30 days or 35 days. Now, if this offer of $240,000 comes with a closing date of 30 days or less, now $240,000 doesn't look that bad when you weigh it against the alternative of becoming a landlord. Because now the reality is for $240,000 and closing before I have to move means that, one, I don't need to rush and try and find a tenant to rent my house. I don't have to prepare the house to be rented out. I don't have to worry about being a landlord from Texas and taking care of problems that come up with the house in Florida. I don't have to worry about finding a property management group if I want. I don't have to deal with any of that stress. So if all that stress, the question now is that worth $240,000 and a closing date of 30 days or less? Well, for that individual, the answer might be yes. Or the answer might be no. But that's why we look at the alternative solution, because that is going to help us come up with the best scenario where you feel that you've won, or the best scenario where the buyer feels that they won as well. Because let's be honest, nobody wants to go through a transaction, seller or buyer, where they feel like they lost, where they came out the loser. So that's where that alternative is going to help. In reality, it helps everyone win. One, the buyer gets a house that they wanted, right? They put an offer, means they want your house. Two, the seller, while they might have preferred more money, is getting what they want in reality. They don't want to be a landlord. That was their alternative. And now they get to sell their house for $240,000, pocket some money, and have everything done in 30 days or less. That is a win-win scenario, a win-win solution. It's important for sellers, and I said tonight we're going to focus on sellers, but let's talk a little bit about why that works for buyers, okay? So again, as a buyer, you're not looking at houses and putting an offer on a house saying, hey, you know what? I think that house is worth $300,000. I'm going to put $300,000. That's my offer. That's not what you do. You take the house and you weigh it against the alternative. The alternative is, what if you never find a house to buy? Well, what's going to happen? Well, maybe you're going to end up renting. And rent right now could be $1,600 or more. And you think, I'm going to be paying someone else $1,600 or more to live in their house or their apartment, and I got 4 kids, and that's a 2 or 3 bedroom house that I'm paying $1,600 for, and I'm going to be over it. But if I can't find a house to buy, That's my best alternative. So now, when you're shopping for a house and you're trying to decide what to put an offer on that house, every offer is now weighed against that alternative. How much should I offer on this house that is $269,000? Well, if that house to you is worth $280,000, so you don't have to live in an apartment, pay $1,600 a month for somebody else's property, and have you and your kids living all on top of each other, then pay the $280,000. And you're not going to walk away disappointed. You're not going to say, I never should have done that. You're going to walk away and you're going to be happy because the reality is you look at it as a life scenario. You didn't look at it as buying the new iPhone, right? If you buy an iPhone today for $1,000 or $1,500 and you find out that in 4 months, now the iPhone has a crazy discount of $600, you're going to be mad that you bought the iPhone at full price and you could have had it for $600 off. Buying a house is not like that. Buying a house is an investment. It's an investment in your life and in the community. Selling a house is not like that. You are not selling, you are not Apple. You are not trying to get a profit margin off of the buyer. You are selling your house for a reason. Maybe you need to downsize. Maybe you are moving or relocating to a new job. Maybe you got a better job and you're going to move you and your family to a better school district or a better school zone. These are great reasons, but these are the things that need to drive your decision, not price. Price is secondary. We work around price. We try to negotiate price. Price is the small hurdle that we need to overcome. Really, if you develop your best alternative to a negotiated agreement, when you go into negotiations, you will be stronger. You will be better equipped to negotiate and win negotiations than most buyers, than most sellers. If you want more information on BATNA and the best alternative to a negotiated agreement, I encourage you to read Getting to Yes by William Ury and I think it was Fred Roger. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forget the other guy's name. But I'm going to include a link to my website. And if you go to my website, I give you the title of the book, the authors. I also give you a little bit of extra information on what BATNA is and how it works for you. Really, this information is going to help buyers, sellers. It's going to help you if you're for sale by owner, FSBO. This is really going to help you. If you have any questions, reach out to me. My name's Keith Leveson. I love helping people. If you didn't get it from my explanation, I am obsessed with the reason behind things. So even as a kid, when people would tell me things, I would ask why. And if they could not explain it to me clearly or give me a good reason, I'd sit down like a stubborn mule and I want to move. As soon as I understand the reason, I can run with it. And I love understanding the reasons behind things. And the reason why realtors ask this question is very important. It is not a sales tactic. It is not a scare tactic. It's actually to help you have your strongest bargaining, your strongest negotiating position possible. Um, Reach out to me. I'd love to help. We're approaching January 2021. I know a lot of us are eager to put 2020 behind us, but just so you know, if you know anyone who's looking at buying or selling real estate next year, if you're thinking about buying and selling real estate next year, reach out to me. I'd love to help you in any way I can. Hope you all have a great night, and thanks for joining me.